you know, I think this might be the cheapest way to over 300 horsepower. You can do it for less than £1,000 if you can get your parts, reasonable, if you can get some second-hand bits and bobs. You can get one of these cars over 300 horsepower for less than £1,000. That's including buying the car if you know where to look and what you're doing. Absolute sleeper, unbelievable amount of fun. One of the best cars for modifications, for the cheapest modifications I've ever come across. It started out as a 150 horsepower model, and with about £200 worth of parts, £300 worth of parts, it's now up and over 300 horsepower. What's not to love about that? It's a pure sleeper. It looks like a granddad's car. I urge anybody to try one at least once. For the money, you can't go wrong. So as you can see, this is a Saab 9000 CSE anniversary. It's a 2.3 litre turbo, and it came out of the factory as a low pressure turbo, and it came out with 150 horsepower. Now to look at it, it looks like something your granddad would drive, and you wouldn't be far wrong. There's lots of old blokes that are cutting around in cars like these. However, a lot of people don't know that these come with the B234, which is probably one of the strongest 4-cylinder turbo engines ever put into a factory car. They were fully forged out the box, and they just love to make power. I've heard up to 600 and 700 horsepower on E85 from those engines. The interiors are quite well spec'd for the time. They're full leather, half suede, you know, quite fancy. The dials are nice, the dash is nice. It's all curled around towards you like a I think they try to market it as like a fighter pilot sort of setup at the time. The seats, with it being an anniversary, have got the like a jet symbol with the 2 jet engines on there because it's an anniversary edition. I think it was 40 or 50 years of Saab. But yeah, I mean, inside it's pretty stock apart from the boost gauge. That's the only thing you can see that's not stock. The rest of the car outside looks completely bone stock, and it's one hell of a sleeper. The car is currently making just north of 300 horsepower, and when I say it's making just north of 300 horsepower, it's completely stock. Like, the turbo's been upgraded. Let's get the bonnet up. So to make this car make 300 horsepower, the only things that you had to change were, it's got a turbo off an aero. The turbo's an aero turbo, which is a original Saab unit I got second hand for 100 quid. So it's got an aero turbo on it. That's the only thing that's different mechanically with the engine. I've put a T7 APC, so this boost controller is off a later Saab. This is off a 9.5. That's just an upgrade for reliability, and that's cheaper to buy. The other thing it's got some silicone hoses, because the original ones had split, and it was a concern that I was going to boil it over or blow the head gasket up or whatever. It's got a Trust 3-bar map sensor, so that we could push a little bit more boost and torque through it than the standard map sensor. And it's got some poly bushes in the top dog bone mount, just because the engine was flopping around. But apart from that, the car is completely stock. Apart from the turbo, I got the ECU mapped by a guy called NoobTune. So, you want a car that's over 300 horsepower, that's under 1,000 quid, or can be built for under 1,000 quid. Look no further than the Saab 9000 or the Saab 9.5. Both of them can be pushed over 300 horsepower with little more done than possibly a turbo swap if it was a low pressure turbo, and then having your ECU mapped by a guy like Carl from NoobTune, and that'll get your car over 300 horsepower, either 300 or just above, for literally next to no money. The engines are very strong, they'll take it. The injectors are big enough to hack it. The intercoolers sometimes are big enough to hack it, but you know, an aftermarket intercooler doesn't cost the earth. And for, well, this car was £500 to buy. I then bought an aero turbo for 100 quid. I had the ECU mapped and other little odds and sods. But yeah, the car stands me under £1,000. It's making over 300 horsepower. I really don't think there is a cheaper car that you can modify yourself and have that sort of performance out of, and reliability. It makes all the right noises. It pulls really hard. It's got a lot of torque. I mean, what's not to like? To get the same sort of performance out of, say, a Jap car or a newer German car, you're talking in excess of what, 3-4 grand. Under £1,000, makes all the right noises, 4-cylinder turbo, absolutely perfect. Let's give it a little bit of RPMs to see what it sounds like, but I think they sound pretty good. It's got a little blow in the exhaust, but it needs a bigger downpipe. It's going to get a bigger downpipe. That'll probably be in another video in a couple of weeks, but let's have a listen to it. It sounds good. It makes all the turbo noises. It dumps. Ideal.